Whoa, how's my Wi-Fi not working? I don't like this. I got that Afghanistan Wi-Fi right now. That's not looking good. Um, what's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36. We got our first victory here in 7 years, I believe, from Florida State University, beating an opponent in general, Sisters of the Poor, Duquesne. But what's going on, Corey? But I just want to get on here for a quick second and discuss, what's going on, man, and just the positivity that needs to happen. Anytime that you get a victory is a good time. And shout out, I guess before I even get into that, a couple shout outs, and my son got a chance. This is one of the cool things about Florida State and being a guy that's respected in it. Shout out to my guy Snoop Menace. I got to FaceTime him. Hall of Fame Snoop is what we should call him. Got a chance to FaceTime him. My son got a chance to talk to him about his first ever football game, and that's part of the reason why I wasn't in dope. But shout out to everybody who donated tickets to the MFTK Foundation. We were able to get some families inside of dope that don't normally get a chance to experience that. So I think that's important in building new fans and creating people. And got a chance to talk to Peter Ward. So there were some legends in attendance. Shout out to Brandy Stewart for being inducted into the Hall of Fame, softball All-American, athletic director. Just anytime you can get a victory in American football is a positive note. It's very difficult. If it were easy, it wouldn't have taken us so long to be able to do it. But what today was first and foremost the start to the greatest time in America, when we get a chance to have football, when we're playing, when we do all kinds of we bond together. Tailgates to me have always been like family reunions. And we got a chance. I know, shout out to Mika Nopi 1851. We had a nice meet and greet where we had softball players like Michaela Edenfield. We had the track team. We had baseball players all came by. People got a chance to see it. So that was one of the things. And having a week 0 game where you can kind of get a tune-up is something that we haven't had. And I get it. The reason why is because it's been it's what happens when you're a respected brand. But Mike was able to get these guys here. And what was cool was we were able to see Florida State run a very basic offense and very basic defensive scheme and really shut an opponent out. An opponent that was coached up to be able to beat you. And there's some things that, again, nobody's been more critical of where Florida State stands probably than me. And I'll be honest, my tune changed upon the first practice that I saw this spring. And I made statements that went viral, and people were just like, whoa, Big Game doesn't give compliments out like that. And that's what I always tell people. You gotta pay attention to who said it. And it's not because I have this infinite knowledge of football that other people don't have. It's because I really meant that this was the best first spring practice that I had seen. It was one of the best full pads. This where they are at this point is infinitely better than they were last year. And they are more talented. But one of the things, and as I always keep talking about, I'm going to shout out my guy. I'm going to speak to him. He had a pretty good game. But as I talked to Derek McClendon as he was leaving the practice fields in Jacksonville, he said, hey, man, what do you think? What do we need to do? And I said, man, you guys have to learn how to snap the neck of an opponent. You've got to learn how to finish the food that's on you. Stop playing with your food and finish what's on your plate and keep it moving. You have to take the will out of an opponent. And it's very easy when you're playing an inferior opponent to let up. And actually, another shout out to my guy Eric Thomas, not ET the hip hop preacher, former center from Florida State, whose son, they came all the way from Arizona. His son was able to take an unofficial visit for basketball with another, and his youngest son, who's 6'6", got a chance to come out and see his first Florida State game, and I'm got to follow up with him. I hope they gave him the VIP treatment as a former player, but what we were able to hold, because I got to do this because Dibby be hating. So I want to make sure y'all see the long, luxurious locks, this stuff right here. My hair need to get retwisted, but what we saw was guys not be satisfied with just seeing the field and guys coming out and getting after it. And something happened. There are a lot of things that happened that showed improve. I wanted to see what Jordan Travis looked like. Did he look like he took a step in the right direction? In my opinion, he did look like he took a step in the right direction. Did the offensive line look competent? The offensive line looked competent. I think the sack on Jordan Travis was more on Jordan Travis than it was on the offensive line. Did the defensive line get pushed? What were the linebackers looking like? What was the secondary looking like? Did anybody stand out? Here's what I want to tell people. And I know people are critical of this just Duquesne, but it's difficult to throw a perfect game on air. Jordan Travis went 11 for 15 for 207 yards. That's good. We didn't have to throw it a ton of times. He did very well. Trayshawn Ward had 14 carries, 127 yards, and 2 touchdowns. We had a wide receiver that got over 84 yards in Portier, and that's a guy that we haven't really talked about as much. You were able to get this and get your guys out. You accomplished this for most of your team in two quarters in a series. I had some people over my house, and we were watching the game. We were going to go to my cigar lounge because I wasn't able to come because my son had a football game that went over. If I could have predicted a weather delay, we would have came. But I said, when you get games like this, you need your players to do what they need to do. You play 2 quarters. After the first quarter, you want those guys shoulder pads coming off and them just wearing their jerseys and going up and down, cheering on, coaching up the younger guys. And that's what you were able to get. It was a dominant game. And what was dope about it is the defense went out, stopped them, and the offense immediately drove down the field and stuck the knife in their gut. And that's what you haven't seen at Florida State. That was what you didn't see at Jacksonville State last year. That's what you didn't see in quite a few games. You saw them get up, and then you saw them let guys get back. And what was even better about this game is that you actually did get a chance to see some adversity. You don't know what your team has until they have adversity. Tate Rodemaker went in there, and for some reason he doesn't play very well against these type of teams, and he immediately threw an interception that almost got returned, but the moment was too big for the guy, and he tripped over his feet, pissed down his leg. But they go down and they score and mess up the shutout. Offense comes right back. Tate doesn't sink his head, probably gets chewed out by Mike, comes back and does what he needs to do. A.J. Duffy was able to get reps. You got everybody in your quarterback room reps. Every running back scored a touchdown. I don't think that's ever happened in Florida State history. But what I know has never happened in Florida State history is having 3 running backs rush over 100 yards. Trey Benson is everything that was advertised. He's a very good number 2 running back is what I said. Trayshawn Ward is a good guy that's able to be able to maneuver and be able to move the chains. That's what you want. Trey Benson is a big change of pace back. And I will say this, Lawrence Toafili looked way better than what I'm used to him seeing, especially in running in between the tackles. The added weight gain probably helps. You have 406 total rushing yards or team rushing yards on 54 carries, 7.5 yards a carry, and 6 touchdowns. There's teams that don't have that in 3 games. Yeah, 232 yards passing. You didn't have any touchdowns, but that's really not on the quarterback. But who cares? You got 6 rushing touchdowns. That is a physical ass type game. I'm gonna tell you the truth. That's the worst type of ass whooping. And the bigger point is you didn't show much on film. That's what I need everybody to really understand. Not much was shown on the film. And you were able to accomplish this type of goal. That's what these games are about. It's about getting your base looks in against an opponent that has ill intentions and keeping it pushing and keeping it moving. We had 1 turnover that was not in significant time, no fumbles. You made your kicks, and we had 1 punt for 52 yards, which was, again, there's 3 phases of the game. You have your offense, defense, and special teams. And Florida State won all 3 phases of this. Your defense, now they ended up getting just over it. The defense held a team to a total yards of 164. That's anytime you can hold an opponent under 200 yards, that's a good game, no matter who the opponent is. They were 7 for 17 in passing. They were 30 attempts, 93 yards rushing, 3.1 yards. Now, you dominated TOP, but you were scoring a little bit quick sometimes with your time of possession. You want to win time of possession. You lost the turnover battle, which is okay. But you had now what you got to clean up, and some of it was maybe a little wishy-washy, but you got to clean up. But that first one with Jerry and Jones getting the late hit was stupid. You got to get rid of that. That will get you beat against your LSUs. That's just discipline. But the best teams have some sort of edge to them. I'm just all around pleased. I saw what I needed to see in a game. One, Jared Verse got a sack. There was plenty of pressures. I would have liked to see more turnovers, but that's really being nitpicky on my part. I want guys that really. So I talked about offense. So we saw what we saw with Johnny Wilson. You saw what you needed to see with Michael Pittman. You saw what you need to see with a lot of these guys. Good stuff. But on defense, Kalen DeLoach got to become a little bit more sure, little bro. Tatum Bethune was all over the place. That's a madman. That is has elevated our linebacker room. And that was cool to see what he looked like in live action. Our safety play was very good. Corner, we got to get Jerry Jones to step it up just a little bit more. There was some times when we took some gambles that we didn't need, but that could also come with not having Omarion Cooper, who had been taking the majority of the reps. Again, like I said, the D-line is very much so still the D-line. That's who stood out with those things. Mike Norvell, again, I gotta tip my cap to the guy. You got to be critical when it's time to be critical. But I think sometimes, we're being, I have to tell the truth about what it is that I saw. And I think I liked what I saw. For the most part, I liked what I saw. And I think you can't rest. Obviously, you can't rest on your laurels. You have to really, just build upon this. And now it's about what do you do? And here's something that I believe happens. Another thing too is I think a lot has to do with the rain delay. Remember last time we had a rain delay, somebody talked about how they practiced rain delays, and then we went out there and got our ass whooped when there was a rain delay. But this team, like everybody, so the last two seasons, because one thing with Taggart was, they look lost, they don't look good, they don't look disciplined, they don't look this. This is actually what a competent team looks like. If somebody wanted to say, James, it just looks better, this is the time to say it, because you have something tangible to use as well as other things. It did just look better. I can't even lie to you. Won't front, won't even hold you. It clearly looked better. And I'm happy it looked better. Things that we have to change. Mistakes that were happening. Randy Foraker just posted, and very, very, very true. At times we were out leveraged, and this is just something that happens when you're playing an aggressive defense on every level. Offensively, it's very easy to do. You run the naked boots, or you run your zone reads, because you got the defensive ends or the guys that crash down, and you're anticipating that. And then what they did with the naked boot, the end crashes down, first dump off, boom, right to the tight end or the fullback on a slam release. I made my bone. I ate very well with that play. So boom, 1001, 1002, release to the flat. You're the first read. If you don't get there, you got the backside drag coming in with the tight end. If he's not there, you got the deep dig coming in. And if he's not there, you got the post. Somebody's got to be open in the middle of the field. They can't cover all three of them. It's like a levels it's a flooded zone concept, but off of the play action. And they hit us a couple of times with that, but obviously they didn't hit us that hard if they didn't have any touchdowns outside of a fluke that was given when they had a really big interception and take it for a return with Tay Rodemaker. We've got to find a way to develop the backup quarterback, or we've got to pray for healing of Jordan Travis. Let me brag on Jordan Travis again. So many people say Jordan Travis cannot throw. I could Google. I mean, you could Google me. I could pretend to be the end all be all when it comes to football. But the reality is, maybe y'all know more about football than I do, than good old big game. I just played the game. But I do know this. That motherfucker was slinging that pill. It wasn't no 5-yard dink and dunks. It was big throws. He did everything. And that's what's needed. And Jay Travis, that dude, and it's really time to start again, if you believe that, you wish that Mike Norvell would have went for another quarterback in the transfer portal, I'm all for you. But he's the best quarterback we got, and the more I watch him, the more I believe what Kenny Dillingham said, is that if you get adequate athletes around him, watch the magic happen. Now, we got that. Now, what I need to see moving forward, and what we're going to need to see, just giving this is an instant overreaction to what it is. This week, you'll see me on Sporadics by fifth quarter. I have my own Big Games BS where we talk about the game. We'll talk about the game on Mark Rogers as well as the LSU kickoff. We got plenty of opportunities where I'll have more analysis and breakdown of what I saw, what I actually like. We'll probably start taking clips and highlights, and we'll start breaking them down, talking about them during the week, creating content, stuff like that on @sportsden_live. But what we got to see is a little bit more of a push from the offensive line. Don't get me wrong. It was great push for them and what we've seen. But when you're playing against a SEC opponent that has a defensive line, they're going to be more aggressive and get in the belly. And especially when we run such a zone-heavy scheme, we're going to have to be able to get the 3-4 yard gains and be happy with it. You got guys like Trey Benson that run very hard. Got to make sure we protect that pill. What we're going to have is more reliable hands and some better decision making. Like one catch that Jordan Travis threw, I believe it was a seam route. That's what I want to say. I don't remember off the top of my head, but there were 3 defenders there. He just threw it pretty high. Wide receiver reached up and got it. But we had, no, it wasn't. It was a post wheel concept, I believe. So it might have been a skinny post, but you had the wheel on the back, the wheel right there. That if he goes to the wheel route, God's wide ass open. Probably going to go in for a touchdown because the wide receiver occupied the other defenders. I want to be able to see him make that quicker. But the cool thing is when a quarterback can make a throw that doesn't put you in a bad position to get the interception. So I want to give him props and credit on that part. He made a better throw, didn't get his guys in a bad position, looked really, really good. All in all, I can't get overly critical on a guy that went 11 for 15. He had four mistakes, and some of them weren't his own. It was one. I think I remember at least 2 drops. And what I want to see is the running backs be more incorporated in the passing game, which I believe we will see. But I want to be able to see teams have to truly fear and prepare for that run game. As James, I can't pronounce your last name. I think that's my guy, just talked about. Again, I don't think people understand how incredible that is, how unselfish that is as a running back room. And then defensively, we've got to contain the edge, but we got to get a little bit more consistent push. Shout out to Joshua Farmer as well. I've been telling y'all about Josh Farmer, man. That kid's got heavy ass hands, man. He's getting big. He's massive. He's like my little bro D-Walk on a little bit more on a bigger meal plan. We got a 4-quarter game coming up. It's going to be a slugfest no matter what I believe about LSU, and I believe we should win. But I also still believe this is Louisiana State University, and Brian Kelly's a damn good coach. But you got to go out there. You got a quarterback that's probably going to play that's a little bit more shifty than this guy, and an offensive line that's not going to fold. And guys that aren't going to just drop. So is our conditioning right? Do we got ourselves healed up? Do we have the Johnny Wilson? Is Johnny Wilson fully ready to go? I don't know, but I know this. What we're going to need is you guys to come in and be in New Orleans and cheer these guys on. I know I plan on being there. Dope Boys tailgate, Mika Nopi 1851 tailgate. I know I got the big game experience. So if you share this, if you follow us on YouTube, Den Media Group, you follow Mika at Mika Nopi 1851 on Twitter. You follow me, obviously, at Big Game James _36, and you comment on comment. You got at least one, but as many as you can. Make sure you like all the properties, but you comment #climb in any of the videos. We're gonna put you in. I'm right now. I got a person writing down everybody's name. We're gonna just put you in a random drawing. Section 126, row 13. Is it row 13? Row 13 or row 18? Hold on, let me make sure I'm telling you right. I don't want to lie to you. Because you're going to come hang out and enjoy the game with me. You're gonna do what I do. You're gonna drink what I drink. We're gonna party like me. And that's probably gonna be the best party that you'll ever experience. So, but just know my seats are really, really good. We're gonna be in the end zone, hopefully looking at Florida State score over and over again. You get an opportunity to just keep asking me questions. I'll try not to get annoyed. And you never know who you're going to see when you're with me. So the tailgate is still going on. We haven't shut it down. I should know 100% with 100% certainty what's going on with it by hopefully by tomorrow, because I need to know. But I know I'm going to be there. At worst, if we don't have the tailgate, anybody who who comes in and comes through with it, man, this is what I'm gonna do for you. Actually, fuck the tailgate. Even if we don't have it, Saturday I got the executive suite at the Marriott. If you win the competition or if you want to slide through, I'll have some liquor in the room. We're gonna come in. We're gonna drink. We're gonna drink. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have some etouffee. We're gonna have some was it not melatonin? I forgot the name of it. We're gonna have a lot of good food, man. But we're gonna party. We're gonna be safe. Have a good time, and we're gonna leave New Orleans victorious, man. I like what I saw, but at the end of the day, we still have more work to do. You can't rest on your laurels. As I said, I said it again, I said it before. Nobody likes a loser, and you're always dope when you win. So again, appreciate everybody who coming on. This is my quick synopsis, quick thoughts on the FSU victory, 47-7 over Duquesne. Be plenty of analysis going on. Check out fifthquarter.net for all articles, breakdowns of what was going on with FSU. And as always, go Noles. Thank y'all for chopping it up with me. See y'all later.